The Roman Empire, a name synonymous with power, engineering, and military might. At the heart of this empire lay its roads, a vast network of arteries and veins that pulsed with the lifeblood of Roman power. These roads, like the Via Appia and Via Flaminia, weren't just feats of engineering, they were lifelines. They transported goods and legions, connecting the sprawling empire from the dusty plains of Hispania to the fertile crescent of the east. But these roads, symbols of Roman strength, also exposed the empire's vulnerabilities. Like any artery or vein, disruption could be fatal, and lurking in the shadows, waiting to exploit these vulnerabilities, were the bandits of Rome. The Roman roads were marvels of construction, built to last. They were paved, often with heavy stone, allowing for all-weather travel and the rapid movement of troops. This efficiency was essential for the Roman military machine. Legions could march from one end of the empire to the other, crushing rebellions and conquering new territories. But these roads, designed to project Roman power, also became attractive targets. Bandits, drawn to the promise of easy riches, saw the roads as hunting grounds. The flow of merchants, officials, and even wealthy citizens provided ample prey. The Via Appia, known as the Queen of Roads, stretched from Rome to Brundisium in southern Italy. It was a vital artery for trade, connecting Rome to its eastern provinces. The Via Flaminia, another major road, ran north from Rome to Ariminum, providing access to Gaul and points beyond. These roads, and countless others like them, were the arteries and veins of the empire, but they were also lines of vulnerability. Bandits, like parasites, attached themselves to these vital pathways, feeding off the empire's lifeblood. The very nature of the Roman road system, designed for efficiency and speed, played into the hands of bandits. Long stretches of road often passed through sparsely populated areas, offering ample hiding places for ambush. The Roman legions, spread thin across the empire, could not be everywhere at once. This left merchants, travelers, and even Roman officials vulnerable to attack. The roads, intended to unify and strengthen the empire, inadvertently provided the means for its slow bleed. The bandits, lurking in the shadows, became a constant threat, a nagging reminder of the limits of Roman power. Banditry in the Roman Empire was more than just opportunistic highway robbery. It was often an organized, even semi-professional activity. Desperate men and women, driven by poverty, injustice, or the chaos of war, found refuge and opportunity in banditry. Disgruntled farmers, escaped slaves, and even former soldiers, skilled in the arts of warfare, swelled the ranks of these outlaw gangs. The Roman army, while a formidable force, also contributed to the ranks of banditry. Desertion, although punishable by death, was not uncommon. Soldiers, often treated poorly and paid even worse, sometimes saw banditry as a preferable alternative to military discipline. These deserters brought with them valuable military skills, including knowledge of weapons, tactics, and Roman logistics. They trained their fellow bandits, turning ragtag groups of thieves into efficient and deadly fighting forces. The plight of escaped slaves also played a role in the growth of banditry. Slavery was an integral part of Roman society, and countless men, women, and children suffered under its yoke. Escape was dangerous, and for those who succeeded, life on the run was often solitary and brutal. Many turned to banditry as a means of survival, finding strength in numbers and a perverse sense of community among fellow outlaws. The Roman social structure itself, with its vast disparities in wealth and power, also contributed to the problem. Peasants, burdened by taxes and often exploited by wealthy landowners, sometimes saw banditry as a form of rebellion, a way to strike back at an unjust system. These groups often enjoyed the support of local populations, who saw them as protectors from corrupt officials and greedy elites. The line between bandit and social bandit, a Robin Hood figure fighting for the common man, could become blurred. The Roman Empire, for all its might, was plagued by banditry throughout its history. While individual bandits and small gangs were common, certain groups rose to prominence, their names whispered in fear from the bustling marketplaces of Rome to the farthest flung provinces. These groups, like the Bargaudai, the Cilician pirates, and the Sicilian slave rebels, became synonymous with resistance and terror, challenging Roman authority and exposing the limits of its power. The Bargaudai were a particularly persistent thorn in the side of the Roman Empire. Emerging in Gaul during the 3rd century CE, they represented a potent mix of peasant rebellion and organized banditry. Driven by crushing taxes, land seizures, and the general decline of the Western Roman Empire, they rose up against Roman authority. Their ranks swelled with disgruntled farmers, escaped slaves, and deserters from the Roman army. The Bargaudi were more than just bandits. They were a symbol of Roman decline, a testament to the empire's inability to protect its citizens and maintain order within its borders. The Cilician pirates, operating from the rugged coastline of what is now southern Turkey, terrorized the Mediterranean Sea for centuries. These were not mere seafaring bandits, but a powerful force with sophisticated fleets and a well-organized network. They preyed on merchant ships, coastal towns, and even Roman citizens, disrupting trade and projecting an aura of fear across the Mediterranean. Julius Caesar himself was once captured by Cilician pirates, an event that highlighted the extent of their power and the threat they posed to Roman authority. The Sicilian slave revolts, while not strictly banditry, shared many similarities. Driven by the brutal conditions of Roman slavery, these uprisings, the most famous led by Spartacus in the 1st century BCE, shook the Roman Republic to its core. The rebels, escaped slaves desperate for freedom, employed guerrilla tactics and terrorized the Roman countryside. Their rebellion, though ultimately crushed, revealed the inherent instability of a society built on forced labor and the constant threat posed by those it sought to oppress. The bandits of the Roman world were masters of their craft, employing a range of tactics to relieve travelers of their valuables. Ambushes, often in remote and desolate areas, were a favored tactic. Taking advantage of the terrain and their knowledge of local paths, bandits would lie in wait, springing their trap on unsuspecting merchants or travelers. The element of surprise, coupled with the swiftness of their attack, often meant the difference between a successful haul and capture by Roman authorities. Extortion was another tool in the bandits' arsenal. Operating in areas where Roman law enforcement was weak or corrupt, gangs would offer protection to local villages and merchants. This protection, of course, came at a price. Those who refused to pay often found their businesses vandalized, their crops destroyed, or worse. This created a climate of fear, forcing people to choose between the lesser of two evils, paying off the bandits or risking their livelihoods and even their lives. Hiding was as crucial as any weapon or tactic. The vastness of the Roman Empire, with its sprawling forests, rugged mountains, and network of caves, provided ample hiding places. Bandit gangs, often intimately familiar with their local terrain, could disappear into the wilderness, evading Roman patrols and striking again when least expected. This cat-and-mouse game between bandits and Roman authorities could continue for years, turning certain regions into virtual no-go zones for law-abiding citizens. For more intriguing stories from history, like and subscribe to MGO TV 360 History.